Hello, welcome to Online Tutor USA. Today we are going to be looking at quadratic equation, and we know quadratic. There are many ways to solve quadratic equation, and quadratic always come in a format whereby you have just in this format whereby you have s square, whereby you have a square, right? This s square plus. This could be plus here. We have a s squared plus s, and we have a plus c, right? So you could attach like letter like a, b, and you leave c to be a constant. Okay. So you equate this to 0, right? So quadratic equation normally comes like this, right? So what you have right here, the coefficients, these guys right here, these guys are coefficient, right? So they acting as numeral, right? So why the S right here, so they are the unknown, the variable. So these guys are the numeral, right? So the acting as coefficient, right? So they are just numeral acting as coefficient. So this, so what is C right there is a constant, okay? So this right here, I'm gonna use another color. The S right there, they are the unknown variable. Okay. So if you have watched my previous class, I mentioned this, but I did not kind of like buttress it to this extent. So where I said the whatever that is in front of the S is unknown or variable, right? So we don't know what it is. So it's right there. So if we know, we could put a number, it could be 2, it could be 3, it could be 4, it could be whatever, right? So the whatever is in front of the S is a numeral acting as a coefficient. So when I put anything right now, like 2, whatever, so it could take that form. So why the S is unknown, right? So it's a variable. So we don't know what S is. It could be anything, right? So these are what we have right here. And not just only this, we have different way. We have different way of solving quadratic, right? We have a factorization method, and we have a completing the square method, and also we have the quadratic formula, right? So these are the 3 ways. But this one that we're going to do today, this is a factorization method, which is limited, right? So it can't really solve all quadratic equation. So what a formula can solve anything. Some people refer to that as almighty formula, but it's only God that is almighty, right? So let's go back to the business of the day. But when you see what we have right here, is not equated to 0. So normally, the quadratic equation is always equated to 0. That's what makes the equation, right? But this is not equated to 0. So whenever it's not equated to 0 like this, so which means you can solve this with factorization method, okay? So looking for the 2 factors. So quadratic equation always have 2 factors, right? Most of 2 factors. So it could be 2 and 1, it could be whatever, 3 and 4, minus 2, plus 2, right? So quadratic equation always have 2 factors. So these are the answers to the quadratic equation, okay? And what makes it to be quadratic? What makes it to be quadratic is because of the reason that it has the highest power of number 2. So the power right here is always 2. So that what makes it what? Quadratic. Okay. So the highest power is always 2. So we have some mathematical equation that just have a s minus 4 minus 21, right? This one right here has what? The highest power of 1, but we don't put it. I said that before in my previous class. We don't put it. It's 80, right? So we keep that 80. So, but when it's above 1, we show it. We put it on top. Okay. So that is why this is what? Quadratic. Okay. So quadratic always come in the form of what? Trinomial. Okay. So in form of trinomial in the sense that you have the first one, you have the second one, you have the third one. So the third one is always what? A constant. Okay. So having explained this, so we're going to go further. We're going to go further and solve this question put before us. Okay. So let's find solution to this problem. Seconds. Okay. So how do we solve this problem put before us? Now we have s squared minus 4s minus 21. Using factorization method, so what do we do? So here we are going to use factorization. We are going to factorize this. So what do we do? How do we solve this problem? So one way to solve this problem is this. We are going to take the coefficient of s squared, right? We're going to take what? The coefficient of s squared, multiply it by the constant. Okay? By doing that, that's step 1. Step 1. So we're taking the coefficient of s squared multiplied by the coefficient, multiplied by the constant, which is 21. We're going to say 1. The coefficient of s squared is what? 1. Okay? We're going to say 1. So there's 1 in front of this s. Okay? So we're going to say 1 times 21 is going to give us minus 21. Okay? And secondly, we're going to look for something else. For the one in the middle, which is minus 4s, we're going to look for a number, sorry, 2 numbers that when you multiply them, they're going to give you minus 21. But when you add or subtract it, they will give you minus 4. So what are these 2 numbers? We're going to figure it out. So we figure them out and see what are these 2 numbers. These 2 numbers, when you multiply them, they must give you this, which is the constant, minus 21. And when you add or subtract them, they must give you this, which is minus 4. So what are these numbers? We just think. So for example, we could say, we could have a minus 3 plus 7, right? Minus 3 plus 7, that will give you, yeah, minus 3. That should be step 2. Step 2. So we're going to have minus 3 times 7 is equals 21. So we're going to say minus 3 plus 7. What would that be? So now we just multiply them. So subtract or add them right now. Minus 3 plus 7 is equals what? 4, right? Yeah, minus 3 plus 7 is equals 4. So that does not satisfy the equation. It does not satisfy what we need. It doesn't. So that is not what we're looking for. No. Minus 3 plus 7 doesn't match. It doesn't work. So because we're supposed to be having negative. So also let's try this method. Let's say plus 3 times minus 7 is equals 21, right? So let's say plus 3 minus 7 is equals minus 4. Okay, this works. Okay, this works. So now let's go back to the question. Let's go back to the question. So right now, what do we do? I'm going to use the black pen right now. What do we do right now? So because this one satisfied the question that was asked, we have plus 3 minus 7, right? Is equals minus 4. This works, okay? But it's not going to work like that. You have to recall, or you have to remember, the mother which gave birth to these guys, the mother which gave birth to these guys, right, was attached to S, was having S. So that's the property they're going to share. These guys are going to share. The case of this mother, they're going to share that property, right? Because their mother was having S attached to her. These two guys right here, the 7 and the 3 are going to be what? Sharing the same S as well. Okay? Now we're going to say, we're going to replace everything right here. Okay? We're going to have S squared minus S squared plus first. S squared plus 3S minus 7S, right? Minus 21. You see these two guys right here? They share the S because they have the S. Because their mother was carrying the S, so they share the S. So I'm going to substitute these guys, right? In place of this right here, this minus 4S, I'm going to substitute this plus 3S minus 7S, okay? For us to get what we need, okay? So let's go. By my substitution, I'm going to have, of which I already have, but I'm going to put it in black pen. So I'm going to have S squared plus 3S minus 7S minus 21. Okay? So that's what I have right now. So what do I do from here? I'm going to bracket these two guys. I'm going to have this S squared plus 3S plus, then I'm going to have 7S minus 21. So there is something common among these guys, okay? Between these guys, I mean, there is something common between these guys. So what is that? If you look at this place, we have S squared, right? Which is 2S. S times S is S squared. So here we have 3S, right? So which is just 1S, but the power is 1, okay? So this one has power 2. Here we have 1S, which is power 1, but we have 7, right? So there is something common among between these guys. So right here, we're gonna say, how many S can we get from this place? How many S can we get from here? So we're gonna say, we're gonna bring 1S out. When we take 1S out, we're gonna be having 1S here because the S is split right now, it's divided. We're gonna still put the plus right there. Then we're gonna take another S from the out. Then we're gonna put 3, okay? So this S can multiply everything again to get this original one, right? So we come right here, we put a sign before we do anything. So we're gonna say right here, we have 7S and we have 21. So we're gonna say, how many 7? So we're gonna bring the 7 out, right? Open the bracket, put the S. So we're gonna say, how many 7 can we get in 21? It's 3, right? Then we're gonna put the minus sign. We're gonna put the minus sign right there because we're taking the 3. We take the 3 out. Yeah, that's a 3 divided by 21. Yes, 3 divided by 21. Okay, yes, that's correct. So mind you, before we do that, this sign right here, go to multiply this sign and it's going to make it plus, okay? So right here, we're gonna that wasn't minus, sorry. So we're gonna have a 3 here, then we're gonna close the brackets. Okay. So if you watch very well, you look, we can get the same thing back by saying s times s squared, s times 3, 3s. And here we can come here, we can say minus 7 times s, minus 7 times s is going to give us 7 minus 7s. And we can always say minus 7 times plus 3 is going to give us minus 21. Okay? So now these guys here, this guy and this guy happen to be the bodyguard. Happen to be the bodyguards. So you see, these are identical, right? These two guys are identical. So we're gonna take the bodyguards and take one of these two guys right here, right? So with that, we have arrived at our destination. So let me wipe something. Okay, so we're gonna say S. Let me just read out through. We're gonna say X minus 7. We'll bracket that. Then we're gonna choose one of these two, right? One of these two. Then we're gonna say, open another bracket, we're gonna say X plus 3. With this, we have arrived at our what? Destination. This is the answer. Thank you for watching. Thank you, everybody. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel, okay? And if you have any comments, drop it right there at the comment down below, okay? Drop anything, whatever question you have, drop it there. So whatever you don't understand or whatever you want me to do, drop it at the comment section below. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys.